Like on some real for real shit, when I be talking about how men gotta lie to get in a relationship with a woman or whatever the case may be, and I'll be like, yeah, you gotta lie to maintain it because you gotta lie to get in it. So you have to lie to maintain it unless you come clean at some point. You know what I'm saying? Which happens sometimes, but if you lie to start a relationship, you have to lie to maintain it. Also, when I talk about how men often lie to get with women, like just initially, right? Like, and how women don't really have to lie to get with us, which is just proof how men, we just lie. We just lie. We lie more than women. Women don't have a built-in reason to lie. They, you know what I mean? Like when you forget all the integrity aside or whatever, right? Which I definitely think plays a huge part just in the fact that women definitely like live more by like the golden rule of like, I don't, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, so I'm not going to do it to them, right? Do unto others as you have others do unto you type shit. Women just don't really have like much of a reason to lie. You know what I mean? Like they, because of because of the type of friendships they have, and because of the fact that they, are in a space where they're allowed to be more human in so many ways. Like they don't have to lie like men do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that like men have to lie, but I'm saying like men are compelled to lie a lot more than women. But this is a perfect example of the type. I mean, this is like an extreme example, but this is like the type of diabolical shit that men be doing. Like there's motherfuckers doing this. You best believe men are just lying just willy-nilly about all types of other shit.
Can we talk about this man for a second? Because I just found out some pretty unhinged information about him. If you don't know his name, it's Jesse Waters. He's Fox News' top anchorman. He just recently went viral again for saying that husbands, men shouldn't be buying groceries. And after he said that, I got curious, so I started to Google him. And that's when I saw it. He got divorced in 2019 and then remarried in 2019. And I was like, oh, there's definitely something there. And I was right. Turns out he was cheating on his first wife of 10 years. They had 2 twin daughters together. They met at the Fox News studio with a much younger woman. She was 24, 25, and he was 41, 42 at the time. She was also working at Fox News. But cheating does happen sometimes, right? That's not really the issue. I mean, it is, but you know what I mean. The issue is how they first met. And I'm going to say allegedly, even though he does say, and I quote, "When I was trying to get Emma," this is the new younger girl, "the first thing I did was let air out of her tires, so she couldn't go anywhere. She needed a lift. I said, 'Hey, you need a lift?' And she hopped right in." And allegedly, this did happen at the Fox News parking lot. He found her car, deflated the tires, and then waited for her to come out to rescue her. And if you noticed when I showed this image, Emma is still married to Jesse. So I guess it worked. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. He flattened her tires to create an opportunity to like get with her. This is very much like that movie Hitch, which is like Hitch is a really good movie, right? Like, don't get me wrong, but I thought about it one day and I was like, that is some diabolical shit. That is some diabolical shit. And if you told those women, yeah, I don't know, maybe some of them might think it's cute. I'm not saying all of them will look at you side eye, but like definitely the smart ones would be like, what the fuck? What did you do? This was all a game, like just so you can get my attention. Like, okay, but did you ever think just to like talk to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It definitely would have been weird to do all of that. But yeah, that's the shit that I'm talking about. Like, so when you see that, you don't think like, oh man, men be lying about every fucking thing. Like this motherfucker flattened her tires and then waited for her to come out. Like that is like beyond problematic. Like that's abusive right off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like that's abuse, like right off the rip. That's fucking crazy. Right. So like when I see stuff like that, I know that men are lying about like the little things and the big things. Just whatever it is, right? How much money they made, who they are on their job. Like, oh, I'm in line to be a manager. Like, whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is. Like, man, just be fucking lying about all types of shit. But every single time I have this conversation with men, they try to gaslight me once again and try to act like no, actually women be lying too. And women lie just as much. And men don't be lying. And I had a dude the other day on the live. I said that cheating, that to cheat, you have to lie. And then he was like, what? He like literally like didn't understand this concept. And I was like, yeah, at the very least, you are lying by omission. Because it's not like you're going to tell that woman you slept with somebody else or you're cheating on her with somebody else, right? And he was like, but where's the lie? And I was like, you withholding the information would be the lie. That's the deceptive part, right? Like, because you know that if you told her this information, she wouldn't fuck with you. Same way if Jesse, he told her now, but like at that time, she'd have been like creep, but maybe she would. I don't know. Once again, like, I don't know in their situation because, who fucking knows? But like the same thing with like the Ballerina Farms lady, she told the story, or no, the husband of Ballerina Farms told the story about how he met her. His father is the CEO of JetBlue, and he had met her, tried to hook up with her. She wasn't feeling it or whatever at the time. She wasn't interested because she wanted to be a dancer. And this dude found out that she was like coming back to Utah, and he arranged to sit next to her on the flight and acted like it was just like a circumstance. Like, oh, I just happened to bump into her. Like, what? That type of shit is like, that is batshit crazy to me and extremely wild. But also, I do also want to talk about how the dude, Jesse or whatever, the news anchor, how or why he cheated on his wife, right? Like, we don't know why, but just from the outside looking in, doesn't it look like he just was like, oh, there's some hotter, younger woman here, and I like that, and I want it, right? Like, that's obviously what it was, right? I came across this today as well, and I was like, I am excited to share this with you guys too, because it's really interesting. This is talking about how, or the differences between why men and women cheat, right?
Shows that women don't cheat for the same reasons men do. So with that being said, let's talk about the 5 common reasons that women do cheat. At this point, there's extensive research as a reason why men cheat. There's a variety of reasons, which include psychological, evolutionary, and personal. But with women, it's a bit different. Number 1 for them is that their relationship is no longer fulfilling. This is women's most frequent given excuse. Men, this is women's most frequently given excuse. This is their most frequently given excuse.
I honestly don't know why he repeated it that many times, but yeah, that makes perfect sense. Right? I don't know.
64% of women in this study cited being unhappy in their current relationship as a reason for their infidelity. One of the participants said, "To be honest, I was with my partner just because I was feeling lonely. And then I didn't know how to break up with him. I never liked him, but I was vulnerable." In comparison, about 30% of men who cheat say that they were unhappy in their relationship.
That being the quote that they chose to use is clearly, to me, it's leading like that's not the majority of the reasons why. Like, yeah, I met this dude, I just didn't like him like 64% of the time. You're telling me that's overwhelmingly the scenario? Like, come on, man. You could have picked a way more common excuse. Like, you should have picked the most common excuse to be like, this is usually what it is. No, they picked the most salacious one. I never liked him. I just got with him, like fueling all men's like worst fears about women.
Number 2 is that their partner seems uninterested. 22% of the participants said that they felt like their partner was no longer interested or no longer participating in the relationship. This is compared to only 5% of men who feel the same way. One of the participants said,
So only 5% of the time, if you listen to what this is saying. The first one was the person's uninterested. Okay, cool. There's many reasons why, right? That's not a guarantee that like that it was the other person, but more than likely it had a lot to do with the other person. But even then, it was only like 30 something, like 34, 35% of the time for men. This one is only 5% of the time, right? That their partner seems uninterested. Right. So what I'm saying is this one right here would be a direct, like a cause and effect, like like you're with somebody, you could have left him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like this is right, but I'm saying, okay, let's rationalize it now, or let's try to understand it. You're with somebody, you think that they aren't interested, and so you cheat. Only 5% of the time do men cheat for that reason. So men don't get to say, oh, because that's what men be saying, oh, like she withholding sex from me and she does it. Only 5% of the time. Only 5, based on this study, based on this survey or whatever, only 5% of the time. Right? That's crazy. Almost a quarter of the time for women. It's almost a quarter or fifth, whatever you want to say. Either one. You want to split the difference. It's either a quarter or a fifth of the time. For women, that's the case, that the partner seems uninterested. But for men, it's only 5% of the time. Wild.
I felt neglected by my partner at the time. He always worked late and didn't have time for me and our child. I just found myself getting closer to another man who was always available for me when I needed help. Number 3 is social media.
See how I can understand that? See how I can clearly, we can all understand that. That's not a mystery. That's not, yes, once again, she shouldn't have cheated. Yep. She should have had a discussion with her, and she probably did talk to the guy many a time. But whatever, though. She could have left. Yeah, I'm not making an excuse. But I can fucking understand that, though. That is a cause and effect. Like I said, the first excuse, the first reason, it could be on you. Like you're just not interested. That could be on you. You could just wake up one day and not be interested. More than likely, though, looking at the women, it's the women are triggered by something that the man is doing, is some behavior that the man is exhibiting, and they are just reacting to it. Whereas for the men, it doesn't seem like men are reacting to many things that women are doing. It just seems like men, in the case of that dude Jesse, the news anchor guy, it's just like, I'm cheating because I can. I have these options. I want to trade up, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Because men always like that, like they're not hypergamous or whatever. But yeah, so he wanted to trade up from his wife who had fucking his twins. And then he wanted to get with this, woman that's 10 years younger than him, right? Fine. Because when was he ever going to have that opportunity again? I'm sure that's what he was thinking. So he took it. Some people could be like, I understand that. I don't. I don't understand that. That's wild. That's not the same as the woman being abused by the man and then reacting with another form of abuse. Neglect, abandonment is abuse. She reacts by abusing the man and cheating, right? Because cheating is also abuse. The men are just like, oh, I see something hot, I see something better in my mind, and I'm gonna go get it.
His favorite darling, they want revenge. 15% of women who are in this study say that they cheated specifically because they knew their partner cheated first.
So let's break this down. 15% of men, 15% of women, once again, reacting to abuse. 22% of women reacting to abuse.
One participant, when asked why she cheated, said, I found an email of his where he was apparently looking for another woman to date on Craigslist. Craigslist. Number 4.
I missed how many men. I missed the percentage of men. Hold on, let me see if I can see it. I don't think he showed it to us, actually.
Want revenge. 15% of women who are in first.
Okay.
One participant, when asked why she cheated, said, I found an email of his where he was apparently looking for another woman.
I was curious to know how many what percentage of men cheated reactionary, in a reactionary way. to their girl or their wife cheating on them? I was just curious.
To date on Craigslist. Number 4 is that they're sexually dissatisfied.
Now peep this. There's another one, right? So 9.4% of men cheat because they're sexually dissatisfied, and 8.4% of women cheat because they're sexually dissatisfied. Now, let's put this into perspective. We know that the vast majority of women don't orgasm, right? So that means that more women are not satisfied sexually versus men, where fucking 99% of men orgasm 99% of the fucking time, right? But yet 9% of, so more men cheat because they're sexually dissatisfied and than women who cheat because they're once just like here's what just further proving that women just have more integrity. Like, it's not about the sex. They ain't worried about, like, here's that whole lie that men like to tell about women being promiscuous and she's always thinking about a bigger dick and that's why you can't be with a woman that's like, none of that shit. They don't give a fuck. That's fucking irrelevant. Niggas be cheating and they come in every single time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're not satisfied. Nigga, the 9% of the men that cheated, they come in every time at least. Man, you're sexually dissatisfied. You're probably not getting it as much as you want to. More than likely, that's what it is for men. But at least you're nutting.
This is one where both men and women are about at the same level. 8.6% of women, 9.4% of men. One participant said, I wanted to know that I was still desirable and that other men wanted me if my partner ever cheated on me with another woman. Plus, I wanted to be experienced in sex. Whether it's frequency or fulfillment, women, just like men, may use by any means necessary to fulfill it. And number 5 is that they're bored. 7.8% of women who participated in this study said that they were bored. One participant said, I was just overall bored in the relationship.
Once again, he didn't tell us. I wish you'd have been consistent and told us what was the percentage of men that were bored, but 7% of women were bored, which is another thing that another trope that men like to use against women. Like, oh, women just wake up one day, they're just bored. And 7% of women say that they're bored, and it's based on this survey.
If you want my free course on signs that someone is...
So it sounds like to me, women, I mean, this is rational shit. I don't know what to tell y'all. And it's like every single time, I just be wanting y'all to understand that especially for the men that like to act like I just be making this shit up, or I'm just like, this is why I think the way that I think, because it's like I'm getting it from both sides, right? Like, women are saying the things, right? Like, I'm hearing women talk about this extensively. My wife is saying this. You know what I'm saying? All my female friends I've heard say this. You know, TV says, women on TV say this. Women in music, like, I'm hearing women say all the same things, right? Then the more that I, pay attention, the more I study this shit, more and more like statistical, like actual data comes out to support exactly what women are saying, exactly what women are doing. It shows exactly the behaviors of men. Like, women are like, yep, men are like extremely neglectful. And then boom, a bunch of studies come out showing that men are neglectful. Yep, men are extremely abusive. A bunch of studies come out showing that men are extremely abusive. Like, and I'm like, yeah, what do you want me to do? You want me to base it on my personal, you know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, my anecdotal, like, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not even saying like a lot of this stuff, like I said, like my wife says it to me, or I've heard my wife say it to me, or I've gone through it before, or I've put a woman through it, or I put my wife through it, like whatever it is. So that's another reason why it's hard for me to like lie about it and be like, I've never seen that before. Like, nah, I've done it. I've been through it. I've experienced, you know what I mean? Like, all you have to do is just stop lying about it, though. It's not that hard.